Greetings all. So I've got a shirt on that I wear every now and then. I haven't really let the kids see it much. Adelaide saw it last night, only because we were thinking about buying them for the kids for Christmas. So it's one of those ones you get ads for, and you can put your own cats on it. And it's one of those things I think old people do. Anyways, there you go. So NFL news for today: the game between the Tennessee Titans and the Pittsburgh Steelers is delayed due to the positive COVID tests from the Titans, but it's only delayed till Monday or Tuesday. So it's not going to happen on Sunday, but it's going to happen on Monday or Tuesday. If they delay it one night, how does that change Monday Night Football? If they delay it till Tuesday, they might actually see really high ratings for a football game if it's on Tuesday and there's nothing else on in its place. Not that tomorrow night's game doesn't sound like a barn burner between the Broncos and the Jets. Am I right? Yeah, that's going to change the power rankings a lot. Now, so we'll see when they do decide on having that game. This is one of those things with not having full attendance or not having fans in attendance. It really doesn't matter when the game is to the fans because they're not driving into the cities anyways. Now, tonight, Major League Baseball, speaking of not having fans in attendance much, Reds versus Braves gets started tonight. I'll be hoping for the Reds on that a little bit, although I used to cheer for the Braves because they had the best pitching staff in history in the late 80s. So since I'm a guy who likes pitching, that was a team that I liked quite a bit. They didn't win very many championships, though. I think they only won the one, right? Anyways, Astros versus Twins is tonight. Houston Astros once again showing us that we can have nice things. Beating the Twins, and so now Minnesota has to win 2 in a row in order to advance to the next stage of playoffs. The Marlins versus the Cubs get started tonight. That should be a fun one. And I say tonight, and it's today. So a lot of they're just during the day. This is going to be happening. Marlins versus Cubs should be fun though. White Sox versus A's again. Cheering for the A's means you watch them lose when it gets to a playoff game. They lost last night to the White Sox. We'll see whether or not they can fight back and win 2 in a row. Best 2 out of 3 is tough. You lose that first game, things get tough really quickly, as they do for the Blue Jays. They're gonna have Ryu on the mound today. They did not give Shoemaker a lot of time yesterday, and I still find that bizarre. And yet that's not what lost them the game. The pitching for the Jays was fine. It was the fact they can't hit the fastball. Interestingly enough, neither can the Rays. When they showed Blue Jays have trouble with the fastball and they have like a 204 batting average against pitchers that can pitch at 95 plus miles an hour. But right above them was the Rays at 202, and I was like, okay, but are you guys just not, am I the only one seeing that the Rays can't hit it either? So these are both teams that struggle with the fastball, which is weird because, you look back 30 years and if you couldn't hit a fastball, good luck making it to Major League Baseball. So yeah, the game has definitely changed a lot. But we'll see whether or not the Jays can stay alive and make it to a game 3. See, I have a Jays hat, I have a Jays t-shirt, I have Jays stuff. I've always kind of had Jays stuff around. Because in Canada, you can always find Jays gear. That's just standard. Cardinals and Padres get started. Yes, I will be watching. That starts at around 2 o'clock my time. And I'll be watching and see whether or not the Padres get it done. I'm just glad they're not also Rans this year. I was getting tired of the Padres losing a lot of games every year and just not being very good. If you could even argue they were good some of those years. And so it finally seems like there's a direction, and we'll see how things go for them. The Cardinals are not going to be an easy out. The Cardinals, with their tradition and their history, they will not be an easy out. The Yankees surprised nobody by destroying the Indians yesterday. Well, they didn't surprise me anyways. And now they can finish that off and move on to the next round. And for Cleveland, if that happens, you just add that to the layers of being a Cleveland fan, right? So we'll see whether or not the Yankees can finish that off. It was an ugly score last night, 12-4. It was ugly early. Early on, you could tell, yeah, New York's not letting this one go. And yeah, again, we'll see whether or not the Yankees can go on a run here. And last but not least, the Brewers start their series against the Dodgers. So there's 8 baseball games on today. No, I'm not watching all of them. Nah, I'm not taking notes on all of them either. I do that with hockey games on the hockey channel. I'm not doing that with baseball. If this channel had the kind of views that the hockey channel has, then yeah, you could probably talk me into it. But it doesn't. And so that would be a lot of time I'd be spending watching baseball, taking notes on baseball. And then afterwards, I don't know. And even on the hockey channel, I didn't start out making these long-winded reviews of all the games and previews of all the games either. It didn't start out there. So for football and baseball, if people want to see me put the same amount of energy into those sports that I do into hockey, this channel would have to blow up. This channel would have to absolutely go through the roof. And over the next couple of months, I'm going to be doing my best to try to, put out as many videos as I can. And for people who don't follow these sports, you're like, but what about the other content? Oh, there'll be the other content. Halloween starts tomorrow. So it's now a month. It's not a day. This year, because of all the quarantine stuff and 2020 being a nightmare, Halloween is a month. So, I'm perfectly fine covering everything right now, and we'll see what kind of content ends up on this channel over the next 30 days. Game of the week on Sunday is going to be Jacksonville and the Bengals. Am I right? I am considering, if this game is on, if I can find it on my TV, I am not spending money. I'm not spending money on NFL season ticket, and I'm not watching a live, like a pirate feed on my computer. I'm not that interested. But if that game is on, that might be the one I do a live stream during. I'm considering making that one I do the live stream during. Bengals and Jaguars. Because, and Jim Burrow's a good quarterback. But with the protection he's getting, the poor kid's going to get smushed right into the ground. And the season is just going to go right off the rails. And they're already 0-3, so 0-2-1, sorry. Feels like a loss when you have a tie game. And basically might as well be, because it's not a win. So we'll see whether or not Jacksonville, who are 1-2, 1-2 Jacksonville, if they can go into Cincinnati and knock off the Bengals. I'm going to say probably, but if the Bengals were 1-2-1, that's a Bengals type record. Only team they've beaten is Jacksonville. That could happen. So we'll see what happens with the Jaguars and the Bengals. Should be a barn burner, really. And when I'm watching a team that I cheer for and they're doing badly, the amount of sarcasm is usually right off the charts. Like, oh yeah, that was a good passing down, and you're running on that down. That's a great call. That's good. That's going to get you lots of points, and it's a 3-and-out. Good 3-and-out. That way you're not tiring out your offensive line or tiring out your quarterback. That makes a lot of sense. That's a good idea. You're going to tire their offense out because you just keep putting them back on the field. You're just yeah. All right. I wanted to close out by saying, hey, Genie Bouchard is winning matches again. So Genie Bouchard, who I buried, a lot of people in Canada, and a lot of people on Instagram were burying as well. Genie Bouchard was a top 10 player in the world in tennis, and then she wasn't. And my complaint with Genie Bouchard was always that she got to a certain level and then she didn't evolve her game. Her opponents figured out how to beat her, and then she never evolved her game as a response. And that's the thing with tennis. You don't have a team. You have your coach, but you don't have any other strategies you can run. It's just you. It's all on you, which is one of the reasons why I have total respect for race car drivers, for tennis players, for golfers. The amount of money they make is tied directly to how well they do. Now, in Genie's case, because she's attractive and because she's well known, it felt like she was getting distracted by all the off-court stuff. That she'd lose in the first round, and then there'd be all these pictures of her running around Paris and sipping wine and hanging out with all her friends. And it's like, you don't seem too busted up about the fact you're out in the first round again. And so it feels like this year things have started to change, where there's more stuff being posted by her to do with training and tennis. And it's good because she's a very good tennis player when she puts her mind to it. And with Bianca Andreescu out for the rest of the year due to injuries and just 2020 being a crap show and her saying, I'm out. With Bianca out, this means that Genie is once again Canada's best chance for the women the women's side. And I'm glad to see she's starting to win again. And the French Open is kind of wide open. Serena Williams out with an Achilles injury. There are, of course, a number of tennis players on both the men's and the women's sides who keep pulling out of tournaments. And so, this is wide open. Genie can really make headway and start to get back into, say, the top 100 and maybe even top 70 or 60, which would be nice because I know she's a good tennis player. I used to get up when she was on her run, and some of these tournaments would be in the middle of the night my time. I would set an alarm and wake up to watch her tennis match at maybe 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, because they were really entertaining to watch and she was really good. And like I said, then it felt like the other girls on the tour caught up with her and she never really made the adjustments necessary. Maybe now she has. So kudos to her and all the best to her from, I would think, most of the Canadians watching, because we like to see a good Canadian story. And can't all be about Milos Raonic and how awesome he is, or Bianca Andreescu and how much we miss seeing her out there. So Genie gets the spotlight back, and good on her, and hopefully this ends well for her. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through and you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for all your support, for watching, for all of that, and for subscribing, because that button's important. So it's right over here, right? Yeah, somewhere. It's somewhere around. Anyways, thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon.